There is a fire that burns within every human being, but not all fires destroy. Some purify. Anger, when left unchecked, is the flame that consumes everything. Your clarity, your peace, your relationships, and even your sense of self. Yet the Stoics believed that this same fire, when mastered, can forge an unbreakable spirit. The question is not how to avoid anger, but how to transform it. Welcome to Stoic Valor, where every word is crafted to awaken your inner strength, sharpen your mind, and remind you that true power lies in self-command. To destroy anger and upset forever, we must understand what they truly are. The Stoics saw anger not as a natural reaction, but as a judgment, a decision we make about how the world should behave. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things." It's not the insult, the betrayal, or the chaos that causes you pain. It's the belief that these things should not have happened. When you remove that belief, the pain dissolves. Let us begin with the first rule. Detach your judgment from the event itself. Imagine someone shouts at you on the street. Instinctively, your mind says, "How dare they?" But pause. What truly happened? A person emitted sound, air vibrated. That's all. It was your interpretation, the belief that you were disrespected, that created the anger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In that single insight lies your freedom." The second rule, remember that anger is weakness disguised as strength. We often feel powerful when we explode, when we shout, when we let it all out. But that's the illusion. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, described anger as a temporary madness. He warned that anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. True power is calm under pressure. A commander who loses his temper loses his army. A leader who reacts impulsively loses his influence. And a man who cannot control his own mind is a slave, no matter his titles. The third rule, understand the anatomy of emotion. The Stoics divided the soul into two parts, the rational and the irrational. When the irrational dominates, emotions rule us. But when the rational part takes command, emotions become servants, not masters. Modern psychology echoes this. Cognitive behavioral therapy, inspired by Stoic thought, teaches that emotions arise from thoughts, not events. By changing your interpretation, you reshape the emotion. So when anger appears, see it as a messenger, not an enemy. It arrives to tell you that something in your perception needs attention. The fourth rule, accept the imperfection of others as you accept your own. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. This was not pessimism, it was preparation. Expecting imperfection is wisdom. When someone disappoints you, remember, you too have disappointed others. No one acts wrongly on purpose, said Socrates. They simply lack understanding. The Stoic response is not rage, but compassion mixed with firmness, to correct when possible, to endure when necessary, and to forgive always. The fifth rule, control begins with awareness. You cannot master what you do not see. The Stoics practiced daily reflection, a form of mental training where they replayed the events of the day and examined their reactions. Seneca wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said." This is not self-criticism, it's self-knowledge. Notice when anger rises, your heart rate quickens, your breath shortens, your mind narrows. In that moment, pause. You are not your emotion. You are the observer of it. The sixth rule: recognize that anger punishes you more than it punishes others. Think of the last time you held on to resentment. Did it change the person who hurt you? No, it only chained you to them. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you respond with calmness, you reclaim your freedom. Anger poisons your sleep, your thoughts, and your spirit. Letting go is not surrender, it's liberation. The seventh rule: embrace voluntary discomfort to strengthen emotional resilience. The Stoics practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They visualized worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to weaken their sting. If you train yourself to imagine loss, insult, or hardship, you rob them of power when they arrive. Cold showers, fasting, or enduring small inconveniences serve the same purpose today. When you learn to be at peace in discomfort, no outburst or offense can unbalance you. And finally, the eighth rule: anchor yourself in the present moment. Anger lives in the past, in what should not have happened. Anxiety lives in the future, in what might happen. But peace lives only in the present. Epictetus advised, do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly. Every moment accepted as it is, without resistance, brings serenity. When you are anchored in now, no storm can drag you away. Now take a breath. Feel your heartbeat slow. You have just stepped through the doorway of Stoic mastery, where emotion becomes energy and reaction transforms into choice. To destroy anger is not to erase emotion, but to transcend it. The Stoic does not suppress, he understands. He does not flee from life's chaos, he moves through it, steady and composed. He does not seek peace from the world, he brings peace to the world. This is only the beginning. The real transformation comes when you apply these ideas, when philosophy leaves the page and enters your bloodstream. As Seneca said, philosophy teaches us to act, not to speak, and so, in the next part, we will turn theory into practice, into daily habits, routines, and inner exercises that will not only neutralize anger, but forge unshakable calm in every circumstance. But before we move forward, remember this: mastery of anger is mastery of the self, and mastery of the self is freedom. Anger does not vanish because you've read about it. It fades when you practice its opposite. The Stoics did not believe wisdom was intellectual. They believed it was lived. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily, not to sound wise, but to remind himself of what he already knew. Philosophy was never meant to stay on the page. It was meant to breathe in the chaos of real life. So let's bring these rules to life. Imagine this: you're driving to work, late, anxious, mind scattered. A car cuts you off. Your instinct tightens like a fist. The inner dialogue begins. How can he do that? Who does he think he is? The ancient Stoics faced their own version of this moment. The servant who spilled the wine, the citizen who insulted them, the betrayal of a friend. Their answer was always the same: pause, step back, observe. Rule 1 in practice: detach your judgment. Before reacting, describe what happened, but without adjectives. A car changed lanes, nothing more. Every time you remove the story, the emotion loses fuel. Try this in daily life. When someone offends you, silently narrate the event like a scientist, not a victim. He raised his voice. She interrupted me. This exercise builds emotional distance, allowing reason to return. Rule 2 in practice: recognize that anger feels strong but makes you weak. You might think yelling or snapping gives you control, but notice how you feel afterward. Your body shakes, your mind fogs, and you replay the scene again and again. The Stoics called this slavery. True control is quiet. When you choose silence over reaction, you are not being passive, you are being powerful. Next time you feel anger rising, take one deep breath, unclench your jaw, and delay your response by 5 seconds. This small delay transforms reaction into reflection. Rule 3 in practice: master your inner dialogue. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." When you slow down, you open space to question your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? What would a wise person do here? Over time, these questions become automatic. They interrupt the emotional storm before it starts. Rule 4 in practice: see others as students, not enemies. When someone wrongs you, imagine they are acting from ignorance, not malice. Just as a child burns his hand before understanding the nature of fire, adults often harm others before they understand the nature of virtue. Epictetus said, "Whenever anyone provokes you, be assured that it is your own opinion which provokes you." So when someone insults you, realize they have only revealed their own state, not yours. Respond with compassion or silence, whichever preserves your calm. Rule 5 in practice: end every day with reflection. Seneca's nightly ritual can become your own. Before sleeping, sit in quiet darkness and review the day. Ask, where did anger appear today? What triggered it? Did I act with wisdom or impulse? Write these answers in a journal. This is not punishment, it's progress. You're sculpting your mind the way an artist shapes stone, one chisel at a time. Over months, you'll notice fewer outbursts, faster recoveries, and deeper peace. Rule 6 in practice: forgive quickly for your own sake. When someone wrongs you, visualize the weight of that anger as a heavy stone in your hand. You can choose to carry it or to drop it. Every moment you hold it, your energy drains. Forgiveness is not approval, it's release. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best way to avenge yourself is to not become like them. Drop the stone. Walk away lighter. Rule 7 in practice: train discomfort daily. The Stoics deliberately exposed themselves to hardship to build resilience. Take cold showers, fast for a few hours, walk instead of drive. These acts are not about suffering, they are about preparation. When you practice small discomforts voluntarily, life's involuntary hardships no longer surprise you. The next time someone offends you, your mind, already trained in endurance, will barely flinch. Rule 8 in practice: anchor to the present moment. When anger tries to pull you into the past, or fear drags you into the future, use your breath as an anchor. Inhale deeply through your nose, exhale slowly through your mouth, and focus only on this moment. Repeat silently, "This is happening now, and now is all that matters." You'll find that the present moment has no anger in it, only awareness. Anger cannot survive where acceptance lives. Let's take these rules deeper, into real human stories, because philosophy becomes flesh only when it meets reality. A man named Armand once told the story of how his boss humiliated him in front of a team. His instinct was to retaliate, to prove his worth through confrontation. But he remembered Marcus Aurelius's words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." So instead, he said nothing. He breathed, waited, and let time do its work. Weeks later, his silence spoke louder than anger ever could. His composure earned him respect. His calm became his weapon. Another woman, Elise, practiced Stoic reflection after years of resentment toward her parents. She realized that their words, though harsh, came from their own wounds. Epictetus once said, "Every person acts according to their understanding." She stopped demanding that they had acted differently and instead began forgiving them in her thoughts. Over time, her inner storms ceased. Peace didn't come from reconciliation. It came from release. If this message is resonating with you, if these ideas are stirring something within you, take a moment now to subscribe to Stoic Valor. Because here, we don't just reflect, we transform. Every video, every word is a step toward the mastery of self, the victory over chaos, and the creation of inner peace. Now, let's continue. Modern life constantly tests our calm. Emails, traffic, social media, all designed to trigger reaction. To live stoically today means to build habits that make peace automatic. Here are 3 powerful Stoic routines you can integrate immediately. Morning premeditation. Before you begin the day, sit for 2 minutes and anticipate obstacles. Say quietly to yourself, today someone may insult me, someone may delay me, someone may misunderstand me. This mental rehearsal doesn't create negativity. It builds readiness. When the day unfolds, nothing surprises you because you've already faced it in your mind. Midday reset. At least once each day, pause for 60 seconds. Step away from noise, close your eyes, breathe deeply and ask, what's in my control right now? Almost always the answer is your attitude, your effort, your focus. By returning to this truth, you reset your inner compass toward calm. Evening reflection. Before sleep, write down one moment where you felt anger and how you responded. Then rewrite that scene in your mind as a Stoic would handle it. Over time, this visualization rewires your responses. The mind, trained through repetition, begins to choose calm as its default. And if you wish to test your progress, try this exercise from Epictetus. The next time someone insults you, thank them, not sarcastically but sincerely. Thank them for giving you a chance to practice restraint. This flips the script entirely. What once triggered you now trains you. You've turned your enemy into your instructor. In time, these routines carve a deep groove of peace into your character. You become untouchable, not because life stops testing you, but because you've learned to remain the same no matter what happens. The Stoics called this ataraxia, a state of inner tranquility that no insult, loss, or injustice can disturb. It is not coldness. It is strength. It is not detachment. It is mastery. And you can feel it right now in the calm that follows understanding. As Seneca wrote, "He who does not prevent his anger from rising prevents his calm from returning." Every day that you practice these exercises, you shorten the distance between reaction and peace, between chaos and control. You begin to embody what the Stoics called the sage, one who rules himself completely. And soon, you'll find something extraordinary. You no longer need to destroy anger because it has nothing left to feed on. There comes a moment in every person's life when silence becomes the only teacher left. You've tried fighting, you've tried shouting, you've tried proving your worth, and yet peace never came. That's when you finally understand what the Stoics always knew. Victory is not conquering the world, but conquering yourself. Anger loses power the moment you see it for what it truly is, an echo of fear, a reflection of attachment, a misunderstanding between expectation and reality. Every time you say, "This should not have happened," you are fighting the universe itself. But the Stoic learns to say, "This has happened, now what will I do with it?" That single question separates the ordinary from the wise. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, death, disease, and endless wars. Yet he ruled an empire with calmness so steady that his enemies respected him more than his allies feared him. He wrote in his journal, not for others, but to train his soul. "When you wake up," he wrote, "remember you have met this day before." The obstacles may be the same, but your response need not be. Anger can never coexist with awareness. When you become conscious of it, it dissolves like mist in sunlight. The practice of Stoicism is not suppression, it's transformation. You turn anger into patience, resentment into understanding, pain into wisdom. So ask yourself now, what has anger ever truly given you? Has it ever solved a problem, or has it simply deepened your wounds? Think back to the last time you lost control. The words you regretted, the damage you couldn't undo. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." If you had paused just one breath longer, how different would that moment have been? The Stoic path teaches us to take that pause, to insert reason between impulse and action. That pause is your power. It's the quiet moment where transformation begins. When someone insults you, your mind whispers, "Defend yourself." But your wisdom replies, "This cannot touch me unless I let it." When life disappoints you, your instinct screams, "It's unfair." But your reason answers, "Then let this be my training." Epictetus reminded his students that every challenge is a test from nature itself. "Difficulties are things that show what men are," he said. The next time anger rises, see it as an opportunity, the universe handing you a mirror. Will you react like the untrained or respond like the wise? There is a story told of a Stoic philosopher who was slapped in the face by an ignorant man. The crowd waited for his retaliation. Instead, he smiled and said, "I'm not angry that you struck me, but that you believed this would hurt me. That is not weakness. That is invincibility. The world will never stop provoking you. People will cut you off, betray you, insult you, and disappoint you. But your power lies in this truth. They can trigger your emotions, but only you can feed them. Imagine living a life where nothing external can disturb your inner calm, where insults are like wind brushing over water, where chaos surrounds you but never enters you. That is the Stoic's victory. Anger seeks to control. Peace seeks to understand. When you choose understanding, you destroy the roots of all suffering. Ryan Holiday, one of the modern interpreters of Stoicism, wrote, "Anger is not impressive or tough, it's a mistake. Real strength is restraint. Real dominance is self-discipline. Every time you master yourself, you send a quiet message to the universe. I am unshakable." So let's end this reflection with 3 timeless Stoic practices to carry with you forever. First, when anger rises, return to your breath. Your breath is the bridge between the mind and the body. Control your breathing, and you reclaim the command of both. One slow inhale, one slow exhale. Repeat until the fire softens into warmth. Second, speak less than you feel. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. The calmest person in the room is often the most powerful. Third, remember impermanence. What angers you now will fade, like every storm before it. The Stoics meditated on mortality, not morbidly, but wisely. When you remember that life is short, you stop wasting time being angry. Seneca once said, "How much better to heal than to seek revenge?" Healing begins with understanding that every angry thought is a chain you voluntarily wear, and every moment of calm is a link you break. You cannot control others. You cannot control fate, but you can always control your inner response. And that response shapes your destiny. So as you leave this reflection, remember, the world is not your enemy. Your mind untrained is. Train it, and you'll find that peace is not a place, it's a choice, made over and over until it becomes who you are. If this message helped you see your emotions differently, if it brought even a spark of clarity to your inner storm, then share it. Let this light reach someone who still believes anger is strength. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Valor, because here we don't just study Stoicism, we live it. Together we train the mind, master the emotions, and walk the path toward a life of calm, courage, and inner power. Remember, anger is easy, peace is mastery. Choose mastery.